Once upon a time, there was a woman named Leah. She had moved to a new country, full of hope that this would be the beginning of a better life. She dreamed of learning the language, finding her own path, and creating something meaningful. But the days passed, and each morning, her plans were postponed. Tomorrow, she would tell herself. Tomorrow, I'll open the textbook. Tomorrow, I'll think about my business. But when tomorrow came, something always got in the way. Fatigue, small tasks, or the fear that she would fail. One night, Leah had an extraordinary dream. She was back at university, sitting in a lecture hall with tall windows through which soft light streamed in. At the front of the room stood her former professor, a strict but wise man whose lectures had fascinated her in her youth. "Leah," he called to her, looking straight into her eyes. "Why haven't you started your project?" She hesitated. I don't know where to start. I'm afraid I won't manage." "You know where to start." The professor raised a finger, just as he used to when he was about to say something important. "You just don't allow yourself to begin." Leah wanted to argue, but the professor walked to the window and gestured for her to join him. "Look," he said. Outside stretched an endless plain, where the wind danced freely. It carried leaves, branches, and wisps of clouds across the landscape. "Do you see this wind? It doesn't ask itself where to blow. It just moves." Leah frowned. "But I'm not the wind." "You can be," the professor smiled. "Let's play a game. I'll ask you questions, and you answer quickly without thinking." "Ready." "Ready," Leah replied hesitantly. "What is the first thing you need to do?" "Learn 5 new words." "Good. When will you do it?" "This morning." "Excellent. What's next?" "Come up with 3 first steps for my business." "When?" "Tomorrow evening." The professor nodded and, looking into her eyes, asked, "How do you feel right now?" Leah suddenly felt a strange lightness. "I think this is simple. I just take action." "Like the wind," the professor winked. Leah woke up with an unusual clarity in her mind. She immediately grabbed a notebook and wrote down everything she had said in her dream. 5 words, this morning. She picked up her phone, found 5 new words in the dictionary, said them aloud, and wrote them down on a small piece of paper. 3 business steps. She sat at her desk and jotted down 3 ideas. Create a trial product, promote it on social media, and offer it to her first clients. Leah felt her body filling with vibrant energy. She took the first step and then another. And the wind, picking up her intention, carried it forward, to where success might be waiting. Step by step, Leah made progress in learning the new language and developing her online business. She created a product, launched an ad campaign, but the sales didn't come. The days passed, and her hope began to fade. She felt exhausted and disheartened. Doubt crept into her mind like a thick fog, clouding her dreams. "Maybe I've chosen the wrong path," she wondered. One evening, drained and discouraged, she lay down to sleep, thinking, "What would the professor say?" And that night, the dream returned to help her. The professor sat in a chair by the fireplace, the warm glow of the flames illuminating his thoughtful face. He looked at Leah and asked, "Why did you stop?" "Because nothing is working," she sighed. "And what if you do nothing at all?" he asked calmly. Leah hesitated. "Then I'll run out of money, and I'll lose the opportunity to grow my business. I'll have to take an uninteresting job, and there won't be any time left for my dream. Without learning the language, I won't make friends or business connections. Everything will fall apart." The professor nodded. "Yes, a grim picture." "Very," Leah agreed, staring at the floor. "And what if it works?" Leah lifted her head, and her face lit up. Then I'll make friends, I'll have a comfortable life, and I'll be proud that I turned my talent into a successful product. My business will grow, and I can expand it. The professor smiled gently. Now you see two possibilities. Look at yourself in the future, the version of you who didn't succeed. What would she tell you now? Leah closed her eyes and imagined herself a few years from now if she had given up. A woman with a dull gaze, full of regret, looked at her with a touch of sadness. Listen, that version of Leah said. Right now, you have everything you need to try. Strength, knowledge, opportunity. If you don't start now, things could end badly. And the only person you'll be able to blame is yourself. So come on, girl. While you have savings, use them wisely. Learn, build your business. If you stop, you'll lose this chance. Leah felt a chill inside. I understand, she whispered. The professor nodded. Now let's hear the other side. Imagine yourself as successful. How does she feel? Leah closed her eyes again. Now she saw a confident, elegant woman. She spoke the new language fluently, and her business was thriving, bringing in a steady income. But I'm afraid, Leah whispered. Of what? The professor asked. I'm afraid I'll get bored. That I'll be trapped by my own success, overwhelmed with work, management, finances. I won't have as much time for myself as I do now. The professor studied her carefully. So, you fear not only failure but also success? Leah pondered for a moment. Yes. But which is scarier? She looked at the two versions of herself, the one who had failed and the one who had succeeded. Of course, failure is scarier, she said firmly. And success. I can handle it. If my business grows too fast, I can slow it down. If I lack strength, I can find help. Success isn't a trap. It's an opportunity. The professor smiled. Now you know what to do. Leah woke up with a clear mind and a heart full of determination. She picked up her language textbook and learned new words. She reviewed her marketing strategy, analyzed the mistakes, and made adjustments. This time, she didn't feel fear, only excitement. Leah took action. And the wind, which had once carried her dreams, finally filled them with the power of movement. The end.